Ever wondered how to balance school, fun, and still get good grades? It's not as impossible as it sounds. Welcome to the world of the great balancing act. It's a world where textbooks meet comic books, where classrooms blend with playfields, and where A's on your report card coexist with high scores in your video games. It's a world where you can have your cake, or rather your homework, and eat it too, or in this case, have fun. You see, students often grapple with this elusive equilibrium. On one hand, there's school, a realm of knowledge, discovery, and, let's face it, exams. It's a world that demands dedication, concentration, and a fair bit of your time. On the other hand, there's fun, that delightful domain of leisure, laughter, and liberation from the rigors of academia. It's a world that beckons with the promise of relaxation and recreation. Now, the trick is to strike a balance, to find that sweet spot where schoolwork and fun can harmoniously coexist. It's a bit like performing a tightrope walk while juggling at the same time. You need to keep your eyes on the books, your mind on the lessons, yet your spirit free to indulge in the joys of life. It's not easy, but it's not impossible either. But how, you may ask, do you achieve this magical balance? Well, it's not about splitting your day into rigid compartments of study time and fun time. It's about integrating the two in a way that makes learning enjoyable and relaxation productive. It's about using your time wisely, prioritizing tasks effectively, and taking breaks strategically. It's about understanding that good grades aren't just about rote learning, but about holistic growth and development. So, buckle up as we journey through the maze of balancing school, fun, and grades. It's going to be an enlightening ride. And who knows, you may just discover that the secret to this balancing act lies not in the scales, but in the juggler's skill. First off, we need to have a plan. Remember, failing to plan is planning to fail. Now let's talk about the importance of planning. Picture this, you've got a math test on Monday, a history essay due on Tuesday, and your best friend's birthday party on Saturday. How do you juggle all of these? The answer, my friends, is planning. Planning is like having a roadmap for your week or month. It helps you stay organized, manage your time effectively, and ensure that you're not forgetting anything. A well-crafted study plan will include dedicated time for schoolwork, fun, and rest. Yes, rest. All work and no play doesn't just make Jack a dull boy, it also makes Jack a very stressed and unproductive boy. Now let me share a funny anecdote about a fellow named Tim. Tim was a bright lad, but he had a habit of winging it. He'd study when he felt like it, play when he wanted, and sleep. Well, let's just say he was more acquainted with the moon than the sun. One fateful day he walked into his biology class, confident as ever, only to realize he'd been studying for a physics exam. The physics exam was the following week. The look on poor Tim's face, I tell you, was a mix of horror and disbelief. If only Tim had a plan, he would have known what to study and when. So let's not be like Tim. Let's be smart about this. Let's carve out time for schoolwork, ensuring we cover all subjects evenly. Let's schedule in time for fun, because all work and no play, well, you know the rest. And let's not forget rest. Our brains need downtime to process and consolidate what we've learned. In conclusion, a plan is not just a bunch of dates and tasks scribbled on a calendar. It's a strategy. It's a commitment to ourselves that will do what needs to be done when it needs to be done. It's our first line of defense against procrastination and stress. So let's remember, a solid plan is our first step towards achieving balance. Now that we have a plan, we need to prioritize. Not all tasks are created equal. Just as we don't wear our socks over our shoes, we shouldn't approach all tasks in the same way. Some tasks are more urgent or important than others, and understanding this distinction is crucial to effective time management. Consider this. You wouldn't spend hours perfecting your outfit for a party next month while your house is on fire, would you? Well, that's what it's like when you spend all your time on a less urgent task, ignoring the more pressing ones. Let's take Billy, for example, a classic student character we've all come across. Billy was so engrossed in creating the perfect diorama of the solar system for his science project due in 2 weeks that he completely forgot about his history test the next day. He spent all night meticulously crafting each planet, ensuring they were to scale and painted accurately. But, alas, when he arrived at school the next day, his diorama sparkled with the glory of 1,000 suns, but his knowledge of the French Revolution was as barren as his rendition of Mars. Billy had prioritized the wrong task. His science project, while important, was not as urgent as his history test. You see, tasks can be divided into 4 categories: important and urgent, important but not urgent, not important but urgent, and not important and not urgent. It's like a game of Tetris. You have to fit in the right task at the right time, or your whole game, or in this case your academic life, could collapse. So how do you prioritize? Well, start by making a list of all your tasks. Then, decide which ones are important and which ones are urgent. Tackle the important and urgent tasks first, then move on to the important but not urgent ones. As for the tasks that are not important but urgent, see if you can delegate them or do them quickly. And the tasks that are neither important nor urgent, well, they can wait. So prioritize wisely, or you might find yourself studying for a test while the exam papers are being distributed. Breaks, yes, you heard it right. Breaks are not just for the weak or the lazy. Can you believe that? In fact, they are an essential ingredient in the recipe for success. Now let me tell you a little tale about a student named Alex. Alex was a diligent chap, always nose deep in his books. One night he decided to pull an all-nighter for his big exam the next day. Hours rolled on, and guess what? He found himself reading the same page over and over again, not even realizing it. He was like a hamster on a wheel, going round and round, but not getting anywhere. Can you imagine? All that effort, but he was essentially running in place. Quite the paradox, isn't it? Now, this is not to say that Alex was not dedicated or hardworking, quite the contrary. But where he went wrong was not taking breaks. Our brains are not designed to concentrate for hours on end without a pause. They need time to recharge, to process the information we have fed them. Think of it this way: if you were a car, brakes would be your refueling stops. Without them, you'd run out of petrol and be stranded in the middle of nowhere. And we all know how that ends, don't we? A long, tedious wait for the recovery vehicle, and possibly even a hefty bill for the tow. Not a pleasant situation, I assure you. Science too backs the power of brakes. Studies show that taking regular breaks can increase productivity and creativity. It's like hitting the reset button on your brain. It clears the cache, so to speak, giving you a fresh start. So be more like a sprinter than a marathon runner. Work intensely, but take regular breaks. Stand up, stretch, make a cup of tea, or just stare out of the window and daydream for a few minutes. Remember, your brain needs a breather too, so don't forget to take those breaks. And last but not least, let's not forget about fun. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy, right? Now, I'm sure you've heard this saying before, but have you ever stopped to think about its true essence? It's not just about the monotony of life, but also about the importance of fun and enjoyment in maintaining a balanced life. Let me share a light-hearted story to illustrate my point. Once upon a time, there was a student named Sam. Sam was a bright lad, always at the top of his class. He was so focused on his studies that he could recite the periodic table backwards, solve complex mathematical problems in his sleep, and even identified the principal parts of a flower for fun. Sounds impressive, right? But here's the twist. Sam was so engrossed in his academic pursuits that he completely lost track of time. One day his friend surprised him with a birthday cake, and guess what? Sam had actually forgotten his own birthday. He was so shocked that he dropped his beloved biology book, and believe me, that was a first. Can you imagine being so consumed by your studies that you forget your own birthday? It's a funny anecdote, sure, but it also serves as a stark reminder of the importance of balance. The school system, as rigorous and demanding as it may be, should not rob you of the simple pleasures of life. Fun, my dear friends, is not just a frivolous distraction. It's an essential part of life that keeps us grounded, boosts our mental health, and enhances our creativity. It's the spice that adds flavor to the bland recipe of routine. It's the melody that makes the mundane symphony of life dance-worthy. You see, the pursuit of good grades should not be a joyless grind. It should be a journey, one that you enjoy every step of the way. So go out there, play a sport, join a club, learn a musical instrument, or just hang out with friends. These are the moments that you'll remember, the experiences that will shape you. So make time for fun. It's not just about good grades, but also about enjoying the journey. Well, folks, that brings us to the end of our journey today. If you found our guide helpful and enjoyed our little detour into the world of fun, don't forget to hit the like button. It's a small action from you, but it means the world to us. It tells us that our work is appreciated, and it motivates us to keep creating content that you love. And if you want to stay updated with all our future adventures, do subscribe to our channel. By subscribing, you become a part of our community, and we'd love to have you on board. Remember, every like and subscription helps us in creating more such guides, more stories, and more fun-filled journeys for you. So, like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more. We promise you won't regret it.